And welcome back to Sure It'll Be Grand. And welcome back for, in a way, I don't want to say sad that we're finished the end of this season, but welcome back to the Obi-Wan mini-series that Disney has done. Reviewed by Kevin and I. Say hello, Kevin.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
There you go.
It is a little bit sad that we're getting to the last episode, but a happy sad, you know?
Yeah, we'll have some interesting news at the end, though.
Yes, very interesting.
Yes. Yes, we're back with Obi-Wan. Last episode, a bit longer than normal, I believe. It's 48 minutes long this time, even though I know there were people hoping for an hour long, or an hour and a half long, and movie length long. And it's like, lads, like, they're not going to be able to fucking hide a movie away from viewers and all this kind of stuff. But
we'd know if there was an hour worth of content hiding away that we didn't see.
Yeah. Well, look, last week we had a little bit of a discussion about predictions.
Yes.
How did they go, Kevin?
Our predictions, I think we got some right, and we didn't get others correct. I think I am probably very big in the not correct category of predictions. To be fair, after episode 5, I was just really confused with where they were going to go with some characters. I'm actually really happy with how it ended up with those characters instead, even though it's the more confusing part of the episode.
Yeah, okay. Shall we get into it, so?
Yes, let's get into it. So, episode 6.
Episode 6, and I want to go talk about Reva, because there was another thing that we both missed out on. She gets injured, and one way that we assume she goes on or survives is through her anger, and, she wants to kill Luke, apparently. I didn't get that. We'll talk about that in a second. But she wants to go and hurt Obi-Wan at least. So she's able to go on. But it's not just that. She was stabbed in the stomach as a kid as well. And we have seen what damage to the torso have done in the Book of Boba Fett. People just get parts of their body, well, we've always known this throughout Star Wars, parts of that body is replaced by cyborg parts. Chances are she survived this stab in the stomach by Vader because she had cyborg implants on her torso,
a little bit of robot in there.
She just had to pop in a new battery or something, I don't know.
Yeah. To be fair, she is not on top of her game in this. So at most she's patch jobbed it. It's a bit like episode 7 Kylo Ren after he got shot by the bowcaster.
Yeah. Interesting thing, in previous episodes, and I didn't cop this, and I've only done so now on rewatches and seen other podcasts talk about it, but every time Reva's kind of been shocked by, let's say, someone in her order, the first thing she does is hold her side, exactly where she's been hurt before.
Oh, I haven't noticed that.
That's a subtle sort of acting that I'm just like, nice, really like that.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. But, yes, so let's move on with it. We are back to where we were left off, where Obi-Wan, Leia, and all the people who are following the path, who've protected Jedi, or are Force sensitive, or whatever. They're still on the ship. We're getting a little bit of a reprieve where they said, hey, we're working on the, warp drive, hyperdrive. Sorry, franchises. Yeah. And look, we're going to put some energy into back, but we'll be on our way to, I think, a planet called Trisan or Trisan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been mentioned in Star Wars before. I think this is a new one.
No, new planet. Can't wait for 12 comic books to be about it.
Yeah, can't wait. Yeah.
Adventures on Trennis.
It'll be like Jar Jar's holiday home with Sith Lords or something. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, they go on their way, and Obi-Wan's just like, yeah, nah, this is bullshit. He goes over to him and says, are we going to make it? And he said, look, we're really trying. Probably don't have the time. He said, what time can I give you? You just can't give us enough time. And he decides to, hey, I'm going to do what I probably should have done in the first place. And
I'm going to use myself as bait.
Yeah. I mean, I still feel it's weird that he didn't do that on the planet.
Yeah, no, I feel like he probably should have, but as we've talked about, episode 5 probably wasn't the best written episode.
No.
The lot. So him doing it here, like, feels like, I almost feel like, because the writers know that Vader will take the bait because that's like in the character.
Well, the writers could just write it that way.
Sorry, yeah, I realized I said it after. Yeah. But like the writers know that is a feasible reason.
Yes,
that they can write in. So them not doing it in episode 5 means that they needed to do it in episode 6.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I still don't understand because they could literally. I don't know, because the plot of 6 could have started there with very little difference.
Yeah.
If they summed up 5 a little differently. Genuinely.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, it's literally 10 minutes. That, like if you took 10 minutes out of the last episode, and there's plenty of sets of 10 minutes you could have taken out of the last episode, you could have stuck this bit in there, and you could have had a clean cut into this episode.
Which is weird, because then when you say last episode felt like there was an act missing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could cut bits out, but also there's stuff missing already.
Look, yeah, I honestly, last episode, not great.
Yeah,
but we're talking about this episode today.
Exactly, we're talking about this episode. So we have Obi-Wan hops into a ship, and he goes off on his way, and Darth Vader says, follow that. And he also says, I'm going to get ready for my ship. And I understand. I don't remember the name of the ship that he uses there.
It's the shuttle, I know.
Yeah. But I was expecting, like, oh my god, I'm so terrible today about names. But the one he flew in A New Hope when he was going after Luke.
The TIE fighter.
But it's not just a normal TIE fighter, it's a double-barreled TIE fighter.
Star Wars nerd's going to correct me, but I think it's a TIE Interceptor is what it's
called.
That's
TIE Interceptor. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought 2 Star Wars games recently, so it's in my head.
Okay. Which one's your?
I bought Star Wars Squadrons.
Okay, that's the pilot one.
And Jedi Fallen Order.
I need to continue Fallen Order. I played it for a little bit. It sounds like such a weird contrarian gamer thing to say, but I didn't like how cinematic it felt.
Honestly, my issue with it is that it feels like it's trying way too hard to be Dark Souls.
Yeah, people say that. My brother told me it's basically called Baby's First Dark Souls.
Yeah, kind of is.
Yeah.
But yeah, this isn't a game review channel.
No,
yet.
It's not yet.
No, this isn't a game review channel. But he went in his shuttle. I don't think his shuttle or his TIE Interceptor have hyperspeed ability. So there's this like complaint I've seen people make where they're like, why didn't he just chase after Obi-Wan in his shuttle or his ship or his interceptor or whatever? Well, because he couldn't.
I suppose. Yeah, I guess. Still, I just want the scene from Rebels where he's standing on top of the ship.
Mm-hmm. Darth
Vader, black cape out, standing on top of his interceptor. That looks fucking cool.
And you want it in live action? Yeah,
I want live action. Yeah, absolutely want live action.
I will say one thing. I like, here's the thing. No issue with Rebels. I haven't really watched Rebels.
Yeah,
but there's one issue I have with Rebels. I think Vader looks too small.
He looks a bit thin, doesn't he? He looks a bit narrow. So way to say it. Yeah.
Narrow. Yeah. That's how I describe it. I'm just not a fan of that. But this episode does take imagery from Rebels and uses it very well. We'll talk about that later.
Yes,
but it does take some Rebels imagery.
I found it interesting. The Inquisitor, though a servant of Vader, the Grand Inquisitor didn't make a point saying like, it makes way more sense if we destroyed the path. You know, what the hell, dude? Those are direct quotes, by the way.
Yeah, very odd dialogue.
Yeah. Bad writing, bad writing.
Horribly written show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is very much like a thing of Vader has to learn to like not single-mindedly chase.
He is still the student.
What he wants. He's still the student.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan knows that, and he's using that against him.
Indeed.
And like, here's the thing: he could even have the Star Destroyer completely destroy the escape pod Obi-Wan's in.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they do, like, even the original ship, they're just like, oh yeah, increase shooting power. What?
Yeah.
Why aren't you just doing all flat out shooting?
But he wouldn't, because he wants to kill Obi-Wan with his own hands.
Yeah.
He wants to make it personal.
Yeah.
And that's a character flaw. That's not a flaw of the show.
No, you're right. You're right.
Vader. And it's. I think it's good that he has character flaws like that.
Oh yeah, Vader's a deeply flawed person. That's the whole point of his story.
Exceptionally flawed.
Yeah.
So Kenobi baits him down to a planet. Did we get the name of the planet?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. It's like nothing but rock spires from what we've seen. They kind of look like termite hills a bit.
I'm just waiting at this stage for Obi-Wan and Darth Vader to have a fight on a water planet, because now we've got like lava, we got emptiness, and water. Like next one is just them flying through the sky, hitting each other in the air. So we have a nice bit of air.
Do you just want to turn Star Wars into Avatar?
I mean,
the good Avatar, not the blue one.
Yeah, not the blue one. Yeah, I guess I do. Anyway, yes, so they're on this planet, and Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight for a while, and then Darth Vader will go, well, one big thing says, what are you here for? And Obi-Wan even makes a big point saying, like, Master Qui-Gon, if I have to kill him, I have to kill him.
Yeah.
I have to do this. And they start battling a bit, and Vader suddenly goes like, I see your strength has returned, but also your weaknesses, and he just starts chucking rocks at him. Because Obi-Wan's weaknesses are rocks.
I have to say, I really like that we finally got a battle where it seemed somewhat even with Vader. Like, it took 6 episodes, but finally someone was able to, like, keep up with Vader.
Yeah. Found it interesting, the combat as well. It wasn't, like, prequel combat, and it wasn't, like, original series combat. It's a little bit more sequel combat.
Yeah, I felt that as well. Because like prequel combat has a very distinctive speed.
Look, it's cartwheel in the air. Let's just say it. All right,
it's cartwheels. Like if people aren't doing cartwheels, it's not the prequels.
Yeah.
The sequel, or not the sequels, the original trilogy are a lot slower, a lot more methodical. Not to say they can't have fast fights. Luke and Vader's fights in 5 and 6 were decently quick, but they were well paced. And the sequel fights kind of hit the middle ground, and this hits the middle ground like the sequel fights.
Yeah, I think so.
Which there's
maybe
cool tricks and
look.
stuff,
I like the prequel series for its flipping around, but I think it just broke the idea of the original series fighting so much that I'm glad they have. I like the sequel series fighting style.
Yeah, the sequel choreography makes sense to me. Like the prequel series fighting is enjoyable and it's like a good spectacle, but it's absolutely nonsense.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I still don't know, what flipping around really does for combat. But yeah, we see
it's because spinning is a cool trick.
Yeah. Honestly, this fighting, and I've only watched it a couple hours ago. This fighting between Obi-Wan and I was about to say Luke. That's a fight we've never seen. Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Like, it's taken such a big part of me, but it's not the only thing that happened in the episode.
Yeah, so this episode is very much an episode of 2 stories happening. Not concurrently, one of them is happening. It confused me a bit when I started watching, but they're happening at different times.
Yeah.
but there's Darth Vader and Obi-Wan's fight on this unnamed wasteland planet.
Yes.
And there's also the story of Reva on Tatooine hunting for Luke because of reasons.
Yeah, no, like, have you seen anyone explain? Because I'm not trying to. Maybe I'm just being dumb. Maybe we're just not seeing the reason. Maybe, like, okay, hold on. Right, does Raven know that Luke is anything?
She heard the message from the Chancellor Organa.
Yeah.
That implied that. Here's the thing: the boy on Tatooine isn't like, as far as I'm aware, Episode 5, Organa only says the boy on Tatooine.
Yes.
And unless I'm mistaken, there is more than one boy on Tatooine. Secondly, her why she wants to kill the child isn't explained at all. Like, she's doing it to get back at Vader, but there was nothing in the conversation. Like, I think it said,
I don't think it connected.
Organa,
it didn't connect anything to Vader necessarily. It connected it more to Obi-Wan, didn't it? Like, yeah, the boy in Tatooine.
I can't remember exactly the dialogue. I think Organa might have said he must not find out about the boy on Tatooine.
Okay.
He implies it might be Vader. However,
I think the implication is very heavy. It's Vader. That's fair enough.
Actually, wait. Does he say he? Because they don't know Anakin's alive.
Who doesn't know?
Organa.
No. Folks, anyone who knows what happened in that last episode in regards to why she wants to kill Luke, please explain it. We might just be stupid. We might just be literally just going past it, you know?
Yeah, I've watched all these episodes and I cannot come up with a valid reason for why she wants to kill Luke. But she does, and she's on Tatooine to do it.
Yeah, and Aunt Beru is fucking locked and loaded.
Oh, Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, I think.
This episode. Yeah, absolutely. But like Aunt Beru out of nowhere, just like, let's go.
Yeah. She heard one sentence from Owen. He's like, the boy's in danger. We have to go into hiding. She's like, nope. And she pulls open a secret gun locker that she has. Yeah. She pulls out 2 rifles and throws one to him. And I'm like, God damn! I wish we had this in the prequels.
But
she put up a fight against the stormtroopers.
Yeah, but here's an interesting thing. You mean the original series, not the prequels?
Sorry, the original, yeah.
But
fair, she was in the prequels.
She was in the prequels for a flash in a pan twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also makes me wonder, is that what really then happened in A New Hope? Like, they could have got away, but Aunt Beru was very much headstrong and like, this is our place. We don't leave it. We fight for it. Which makes sense for someone who lives on Tatooine, who owns land, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Owen comes up with an excuse to hide Luke in a side room that, there's the Tuskens are raiding again.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like, you would keep weapons. Like, they're farmers. Yeah, farmers have weapons.
Which brings another thing up. So when Tusken Raiders have been around before, have they been around near their farm? Maybe, because I don't think they've been near their farm before, because I don't know why Owen was so surprised by the guns then.
They have been around their farm before.
Okay.
They were in the prequels. They kidnapped Shmi.
That's true. So, okay, alright, but I guess I'm talking about post-Owen Papa dying, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
During
Luke's existence.
He implied to Luke that he said the Tuskens are raiding again.
Yeah.
So I think, it's Tatooine. Tusken Raiders are a known quantity.
To be honest, maybe Tusken Raiders went, hey, we don't raid that place because the last time we did... boy!
Did you guys hear about the last clan that raided that place? Not anymore, anyway.
Yeah, so maybe Luke hears more about the Tusken Raiders invading other farms. It actually makes complete sense why Tuskens may have not invaded that place for a while. Genuinely, it's not even like a cop out. That makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm. And I just love that Beru just hears this and goes, I'm strapped. Here's some guns. And we're going to ambush. She's gonna, and also like she immediately has a battle plan. It's like she's coming at sundown.
Yeah.
Like
her heart rate will be 35/6. 35/6 is not a heart rate that exists. Please do not listen to this for medical opinions.
That's not a heart rate. That's a Kingdom Hearts title.
Yeah. We'll go back to what Andrew and Owen does, but I just want to quickly go back because perhaps we jumped a bit too quickly away. Vader and Obi-Wan fight, and Obi-Wan's actually fighting properly now. It's you know,
he's in his stance.
Yeah,
you know?
He does this whole two-finger thing,
like, hand in front, lightsaber by his head. Love it.
Yeah, he does the whole upside down Neo come at me pose. But But like I said, Darth Vader mentions that he still has weaknesses, and Vader does like a force ground punch, which definitely was a part of like Star Wars games before. Like that definitely existed at some stage in some Jedi game. But
he just he basically opened up the ground, buried Obi-Wan in it.
Oh, and
seemed to
it's not even like
for a second.
Oh no, I just want to say, that's standing there. You know what I was going to say, right?
Yeah,
he got the high ground.
I so wanted him to say
some
variation of the line.
Yeah.
My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. But
maybe they just assumed like, okay, they'll know what we're doing here. It was definitely done intentionally. Yeah. Obi-Wan is stuck underneath the rubble and he is keeping things up by using the Force. He has this like little area and Vader just goes, alright, peace, bye, and walks off.
Yeah. And he just walks away, and we're like, we know Obi-Wan doesn't die because we've seen episode 4.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
he might have when he was at clone facility. Maybe he just got an next one done, or maybe the Obi too.
Maybe he's got a brother we didn't know about.
We do know he has a brother we don't know about.
Yeah, we know there's a brother we don't know about.
Yeah, exactly.
But so he's under the rocks and he's using the Force to keep them above, and he's like struggling.
And he's full of hate at first because he's thinking about Anakin, I hate you, and Vader shouting things into his head.
Yeah.
But he gets rid of that then. And he starts thinking about Leia and Luke.
Yeah.
And the good people he's met.
Leia, and I'd say it's mostly he's thinking about Leia, Asterix, and Luke on a different line.
Oh yeah,
because there's 2 scenes of him thinking about Luke.
Yeah, exactly. Luke is all right in this. I think he's all right. No offense to the kid. There's just not much written for him.
I think they probably could have shot some extra scenes just for this flashback to make it seem like he cared about Luke anywhere as much as he cared about Leia. But yeah, he's using the fact that he cares for these kids and like seeing them safe, that he's using that feeling to push the rocks up in a way that makes it seem that Darth Vader has no hearing. That was a fairly large explosion.
Yeah. Maybe it's just directional hearing. He can just hear things in front of him. You know,
he does have a large helmet.
Yeah.
But so he manages to climb his way out of the hole.
Yeah.
So
should we go?
Let's go back.
Yeah, let's
go back to Reva, and she finds the farm. She walks into the farm, and immediately Aunt Owen and Beru open fucking fire.
And like, not just like, weak. Oh, they're just barely holding up. They're doing a pretty okay job for like non-Force users, non-military folk.
Yeah,
they're not doing bad.
And like they're doing suppressing fire. Clone troopers had more difficulty in Order 66.
Yeah,
than these 2 did.
Yeah, and Owen fights her like on this little bridge he has inside his home, and he gets a shot in. Yeah,
he gets he picks up like a stick and starts hitting her with it.
Yeah, I mean, he gets one into the side, and he's like, she actually gets hit, and she's like, oh, this hurts quite a lot. It's where she got wounded or cyborg bits. I don't know.
there's a detail. I made a note of it when I was watching. I kind of wish I watched episode 4 in between us recording this and watching, because does Owen have a limp in the prequels or a weak leg?
I don't remember it.
Because if he does, he got it here, and I think that's a.
Do you mean A New Hope?
In A New Hope, yeah.
Yeah. No,
because sorry, did I say prequels again?
You
Fucking
did,
hell.
yeah.
Sorry, or in the original trilogy, does Owen have a limp?
You keep talking, I'll find out.
Yeah, because he in this, Reva does manage to get a hit in on. I can't remember if it's like a reflected blaster or like just a graze on his leg or something, but she manages to hit him hard in the leg, and he's limping every time we see him for the rest of the episode. But that manages to distract Reva long enough. She doesn't kill him, because he's just in her way. So she pushes him out of the way, walks into the room Luke's hiding in, and fucking Beru is hiding behind the door, gets a fucking swing in, absolutely cold clocks her.
Yeah. I couldn't find anything on
out a window.
I couldn't find anything on limps, but I need to rewatch it anyway. I have all the next movies lined up for myself anyway.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it as well. That would be a fun detail if it's true.
Yeah.
It'd be a nice little connector, like a non-big connector. But yeah. So Beru comes in, fucking not
steel chair from the back.
Steel chair from the back as Luke is escaping through a window.
Yeah.
Reva like fucking knocks her back as well and goes to chase Luke through the desert. And he gets a fucking distance away. I think where he gets to is the ravine where R2 gets captured by Jawas.
I'll say this. It's always this weird thing to me where, like, people who live in very flat places in movies, you have them looking for people out in the massive plain, and then suddenly someone just sneaks up. I'll mention it later, but I feel like if you can suddenly sneak up on someone on a massive flat plain, you can probably disappear at the same time. Because
it's one of those things where like you watch it and you're like, this person either wrote themselves into a corner or has never lived in a flat place before. Yeah.
But okay, so she goes off on the hunt for Luke. And I think we can move over to the Obi-Wan one, can't we?
Well, let's go back to Obi-Wan and his continued duel with Darth Vader.
Yes. Obi-Wan comes out and he goes to Vader and says, I guess I'm still here. Let's fight.
Mm-hmm. And it's the first time in the series, and I think it's the first time since episode 6, I'd say, that we've ever seen Vader on the back foot in a fight.
Obi-Wan lifts like a quarry full of stone.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, he machine guns this into Vader. Like, Vader's, like, being knocked into a wall. Like, they're both, like, Marvel superhero fighting, where, like, they're knocking each other through stone walls and corners and that kind of stuff. But, like, it's, like... You know what I like about it? It has weight to it. These are still mortal men. Like, they're not going to fly through buildings and that. But, like, corners of, like, the stone being knocked apart and broken down. And then, like... Clearly, it's only the Force which is protecting Vader from being pummeled to death by Obi-Wan.
And even amongst those even amongst those stone throws, I'm going to say this before I say this. I have gotten a lot of predictions wrong in these 6 episodes that we've reviewed. I have gotten many things wrong, you could say. However, when we reviewed episode 4. I said the final confrontation with Vader is going to have Vader put on the back foot by Obi-Wan slashing the console on his fucking chest and slashing the helmet open, and we get the raspy breath Vader and see Hayden Christensen. And Dan, I want you to tell me what happens in this fight. I want you to tell me exactly what happens in this fight, so I can, as I take my lap of victory here.
We see raspy Vader after being on the back foot against Obi-Wan and having the chest and the mask knocked off him.
We sure fucking do, don't we?
We do. Just before we go into that, just one little reference. Obi-Wan, all the stones in the air, very Rey from The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Very
Let's continue.
Rey. the imagery of Vader getting slashed open is very similar to his fight with Ahsoka from Rebels.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Rebels if you haven't seen it. Sorry for putting the spoiler warning after I spoiled it. But
we have mentioned at the beginning of the series, we're going to spoil everything that's been out.
Spoil everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is literally. I think it's literally the same cut.
No, it's
I've seen
other side of the face.
It's was it the other? It's like opposite.
Yeah.
Cut
Yeah.
But I've seen some people say like online that this is the origin for the cut on Vader's head in Return of the Jedi. I don't think it is because we don't actually see it cut.
Yeah, we don't see any. I think people were looking at pixels for far too long, and different makeup techniques having different sort of pronunciations. I don't think that's Scar. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much.
I'd say that's probably just a Mustafar thing, or maybe it's even a.
Can I just say this was the most Sithy we've seen Anakin yet? Because like throughout all of this, he is like there's a grin to him. Like maybe it's just a mask I was covering part of the mouth, but it looked to me like he's just like he's enjoying helping Obi-Wan mentally. He's just like. Obi-Wan making a big point saying like, I'm sorry Anakin for everything I've done, all of it. Why, he says, oh, you didn't kill Anakin, I did. And there's this like satisfaction in that.
It's all in the eyes.
Yeah.
Like Hayden Christensen is able to act with just his eyes in like such a great way. And probably one of my favorite things about this scene is the voice.
Yeah.
And this is a thing they do in Rebels too. The voice goes between Anakin and Vader. Like if it swaps between them, and it's like an in-universe explanation for who's talking.
Yeah.
You know, like when he starts talking, it's Anakin's voice, and Obi-Wan like feels sympathy for his lost student. But as he goes on to talk about how Anakin's dead and Darth Vader is the one who killed him, not Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
it's an in-universe explanation
then
for character stuff.
Then my friend Anakin is dead.
Yeah, I love that they used they gave. We predicted that Qui-Gon would be the one to absolve Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Of
well, it's
what
beautiful
he felt,
that Anakin did.
Yeah.
Vader.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
This is the last time I think he ever considered Darth Vader as Anakin.
Yeah.
While he was alive.
They make a point as well, like, this is what's left of what was Anakin as well. Like, and this is a reference to kind of quote that Obi-Wan says, he's more machine now than anything else. And it explains why he says, Darth Vader killed Obi-Wan. In a big way.
And when he says the groan-worthy line in episode 6 of what I said was true from a certain point of view, it was from Vader's point of view.
Yeah. And I suppose Obi-Wan's in the end as well. Obi-Wan accepted it.
Yeah.
Because Obi-Wan made a point to Luke that you'll have to kill him. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because, so when Anakin says this in episode 4, was it, with the flashbacks? Is it 4 or 5? 5. Is it?
5.
4? It's one of them. The cool flashbacks to when they were training, or when they were potentially doing tests.
That was 5. That was 5. That was 5. Yeah.
Anakin says you can't defeat an enemy with mercy, and then his son, who decides to not kill Vader himself, defeats Vader with mercy.
Yeah. And I think it's also worth noting that Obi-Wan defeated Vader with mercy in this episode as well by robbing him of what he has been searching for these last 6 episodes. He wanted revenge, and he didn't even get the satisfaction of dying.
I don't think it's mercy from Obi-Wan in this case. I think Obi-Wan just realized he was not even pity. I don't even think that. I think at this stage, Obi-Wan has moved on. Like, this is not Anakin anymore. This is not his responsibility anymore. He did his damage, but he's not here to kill the Sith. That's not his duty.
Yeah.
And he moves. We have the scene Obi-Wan finally goes like, he's leaving. He's walking away. We have Darth Vader / Anakin shouting for him, very much like how he did on Mustafar. You know, Darth Vader. After all the powerful things we've seen how quick Obi-Wan can actually beat the crap out of him. Like,
yeah,
you know.
And like you said, it was in the last episode that we saw him become the master, but no, it was this episode where Obi-Wan is the master who beats Darth Vader, who is still the student. And even in this episode, he still refers to Obi-Wan as master.
Yeah, until we get to the very end. Well, we'll get there in a second.
We'll get there because we still have to finish up Reva's plotline.
Yeah, we'll see Obi-Wan heading to Tatooine. He has a feeling that Luke is getting hurt because at this stage we see Reva and she's chasing him through some stone. They gave it a name to this place, but like some hidden stone laneways.
Yeah, and I made a point earlier, but I think it is the same place we see R2. Where he gets attacked by the Jawas.
Yeah. It would make sense. They didn't name the place. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, Reva pulls him down, and we get a sense that Obi-Wan has a sense through the Force that this is happening in Tatooine, and he makes his way there, and he arrives with.
It's worth noting that this is where the timelines connect. Because Reva's timeline has entirely happened after. All the fight with Vader. Because otherwise this timeline makes no fucking sense.
Or hyperdrives are really fucking good. But he arrives there and he runs up to Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen shouting, Luke, where are you? And then Obi-Wan shouting, where's Luke? it's just like, what do you think? What do you think you got? Also, here's an interesting thing. Like, I mentioned early on, like, how do people not see people walk up on a flat surface? Obi-Wan arrives by spaceship.
How did I not see that?
How did you not?
There's like 12 explanations and none of them explain how they didn't see him.
But so we go back a little bit then. So she's chasing him, Luke down, and she pulls him down, and Luke is unconscious.
He's knocked out.
Yeah, knocked out. Very much how Obi-Wan found him many years later.
Yeah.
And she's about to kill him, and she stops herself. She has flashbacks of her lying there, of Anakin or Vader, like, killing her, and she finally gets to an emotional place where she's like, no, I can't do this. And she carries him back, and this is where timelines converge again. And she comes up and kneels on the ground, puts Luke on the ground. I think there's meant to be a slight implication that we don't know if Luke gets killed or not, because Aunt Beru and like Uncle Owen are looking at Luke, but it was just like...
If they were trying to imply that Luke might have died, they did it in the wrong piece of media.
Yeah, but even outside of that, like even the scene where she like decides not to kill him, it's very clear she's not doing it. Like she's like, okay, I won't do it.
Like there's not a chance that she's killing Luke here for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
But we'll focus on the ones that don't hurt the show.
Yeah,
but
I think that's a major bad writing. I've heard a lot of people saying the bad writing was when Obi-Wan and Vader were fighting, because they said it was a bit, telling the narrative basically, saying, "Oh, I am the master, you are the master, oh, we're fighting." But it's like, yes, it's called dialogue, and
also. I'm sorry, did you watch episode 4 if you're saying that?
Have you watched any of 4, 5, 6? Vader loves talking shit. Like, that's his thing.
He is the number one shit talker. The biggest difference between Anakin and Vader is that Anakin is, like, mostly quiet during lightsaber fights, and Vader will not shut the fuck up.
If not Vader being the original villain telling you his plot before he does the plot, he's at least one of the most well-known archetypes of it.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, so I don't really buy it. And also, like, if you claim to like the fight on Mustafar and then claim to hate Tolkien, like that. I know that for a lot of times talking about they fight and they talk about high ground, low ground. Like they literally had to explain how having the high ground is going to be bad for Anakin in that movie. You know, without just showing it.
Yeah.
You know,
like I hate to say it, but Star Wars has historically been a bit dodgily written. It has never been high art in terms of writing.
It's been very talky as well at times.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, like George Lucas is someone who likes writing dialogue to express what is happening.
How much have they retconned by just lines? Like retcon actions with lines.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
But, yeah, I mean, it's almost as if somehow Palpatine has returned.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so she's there and she's talking about Obi-Wan saying, "Oh, I failed, my family, the kids that she grew up with and learned the Force with and all that kind of stuff." And she says, "No, you haven't. You've actually appeased them, or you calmed them. You respected them."
Yeah.
And go on.
I will say it's a bit odd. Like Reva's thing in this is very similar to Darth Vader and even Kylo Ren's arcs in their respective trilogies, where they get redeemed in the finale.
Yeah.
By choosing the right choice. The only difference with Reva is that she has committed all the heinous things that Vader and Kylo Ren would commit. However, she doesn't die at the end of her arc.
Yeah, but I think Kylo gets redeemed even before his death. In a way, like he doesn't get redeemed in his death. He gets redeemed previous to his death.
Yes, but he does die before he interacts with any of the people he has to interact. He has to
To be honest, I don't think dying matters necessarily. My main thing is taken away from the Force is that the Jedi did have a point about the dark side of the Force, and that it actually does corrupt if you leave. This is not just an emotional thing where, like, oh, I have to do these bad things to do good things. That's not what Vader knows, that he is evil, and he pulls from that evil to use the evil to his advantage.
Yeah.
Like, it feeds off them. I genuinely think Force users are very, very... They must be, like, prone to darkness. If it lets you in, if the dark side of the Force actually comes in you, it'll mess you up like a disease.
I'd say it's very likely. Like, please tell me if I'm wrong, Star Wars fans, or tell me I'm right. That'd be nice. But the light side of the Force is very symbiotic in nature, where the dark side is very parasitic in nature.
Yeah, well, I mean,
where if you have the ability to attune to the Force, you just naturally have the ability to use the light side abilities of the Force. But if your emotions are if you're not able to control your more negative emotions or your more explosive emotions, I guess you could say, then the dark side can take a hold of you and make you do things that aren't in your nature. A lot of dark side users are people who kind of are lost to the dark side, and when they come out of that, they realize what they've done a lot of the time.
I think that's a classical way of looking at the Jedis and the Sith. I don't think that is just from what we've learned about the Jedi and how they were wrong. I don't think that fits too well, especially when we start thinking about grey Jedi, Jedi that were a little bit more on the ground, and especially when we get Luke rebuilding the Jedi, a order, and trying to do it in a new way, and even the sequel series explain how you have to move on from the dogmatic things. So I wouldn't say that the natural way of the Force is the light side. That doesn't really make sense to me either. It doesn't come just because you're on the light side. Just because you're naturally within the Force, you're going to start using light side powers. I don't think that's necessarily true either.
I'd say what I'm trying, I might be construing it wrong, is that what is construed as light and dark is actually the light side is just the stuff that you can do when you attune to the Force. But see, ability wise, and like when you've gone too far with that and you start doing shit like force lightning, apparently,
but even
is a
force
Sith thing.
but even force choking is part of the Sith, and like that's not much different to Jedi powers like pushing.
Yeah. No, I mean like what they're construing it. Maybe I might. Be
I think on the philosophical idea is that the Jedi Order and how they see the Force should be used is by order. It should just be order and control, and that's it. And it's a control over the mass and control over yourself. Whereas the Sith is all about control of the Force. They want to control the Force. They want to manipulate the Force. They want to use the Force for their own satisfaction. So the Jedi try to shift their emotions in line with the Force. The Sith try to put the Force in line with their emotions. And that's the difference between the two, in my mind.
That's worded way better than what I was trying to go for.
But so I'm gonna say like there must be about 5,000 lightsabers in the desert now, in like Tatooine.
How many ex-Jedi found Obi-Wan and were like, "What should I do?" And he's like, "Bury it, find a hole."
The bucket's over there, all right.
Yeah, but do you think at the end of episode 9, when Rey was going to bury Luke and Leia's lightsabers, that she just kept digging holes and there was more lightsabers around?
Yeah.
She's like, can't put it there. Someone else put their lightsaber here.
There's just signs up there. Please do not foul our deserts with lightsabers. Take them home, like with dog fouling. But yeah.
Do you think there's lightsaber storms in? Like a big wind kicks up and all the lightsabers go flying.
Yeah, Uncle Owen should just start like digging up lightsabers and selling them. He'd make serious money.
Reselling lightsabers. I think that's a bit of a dodgy business. The Empire'd be on your ass pretty quick.
Just sell to the Jawas. It's fine.
So you're like an in-between man.
Yeah. No, they're the in-between. You're hands off with the public.
You dig up the lightsabers that keep being buried around the desert. You sell it to the Jawas so they can sell it. But like then if you do that, then the Empire's like, who sold you these lightsabers? Or where'd you get these lightsabers? And then after the Jawas tell them, they'd kill the Jawas and come to kill you. Because that's literally what happened in A New Hope.
Okay, yeah. But it gives me time to get away.
Time worked out awful well for Aunt Owen and Aunt Owen, Uncle Owen, and Aunt Beru.
You know, for this entire discussion, I was worried that I might mix up the aunt and uncle thing. I was like, no, I'm not doing it great. Then you do it, wonderful. But yeah,
I'm a wild card that way.
We get so it's plot basically finished now. Reva goes off to whatever. Disney TV show
series,
or show she's going to show up in another Star Wars show, most likely. Ahsoka probably. Looking forward to it.
Maybe she'll show up. Maybe she'll show up in the Jedi Fallen Order sequel, because that takes place after Obi-Wan.
Yeah, again, not to say that video games aren't canon, and obviously there has been stuff brought across, but I'm not sure how chummy Disney is with taking in more game canon and introducing it heavily into shows, if you know what I mean.
Well, this wouldn't be introducing the game canon to the show. This would be taking the show's canon to the game. Yeah,
I suppose, but I think they'll still want to figure out what they're going to do with these characters before they give it to one of these games to do something with them.
Well, I mean, like, this is under the assumption that they have got nothing else planned for her.
I think they had to rewrite.
Actually,
she was meant to die with Vader.
Yeah. Here's a question. Actually, you don't know because you didn't finish it the game. I was going to ask, wasn't your guy from Rogue One in Fallen Order, but I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah. I can't. I actually can't even remember the name of the actor who played him. Yeah. If there is a character from Rogue One in Fallen Order, please tell me, please.
I will be reviewing that show. It won't be with you, Kevin, but we'll talk about what Kevin and I will be doing with David, because David is a big Star Wars head as well. But Kevin is not going anywhere just yet. Trust me.
I'm not. So let's finish the epilogue of this, because there has a little bit of an epilogue.
Leia is back home.
She's wearing a more classical Leia outfit
with a
I'd
nice
say.
gun holster, which
Yeah,
is very Leia.
Yeah, she got the gun holster. She's got the buns on top of her head,
Yeah,
Leia buns.
yeah.
And she's got
Oh, she had those throughout the show.
yes.
Yeah.
They're slightly different buns.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, they rebund her.
yeah. So I think it's implied to be the same gun holster she has in episode 6.
Yeah,
which,
or at least the same looking one that she ended up using from then on. You know.
And it's very nice that it ties into my theory of the rhyming episodes. I'll get into it after we're done.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, but yeah, we get Papa Organa looking at Leia with gun holster, and she makes one that she did say there are different ways to rule or lead, and that's obviously that she's going to be part of the rebels, and that's her goal. And he says, "I'll be with you. We'll do it together." They surprise her. Obi-Wan shows up, and you know, like, she's very rude and runs right past Obi-Wan and goes to her droid.
Yeah,
but, you know, never
yeah,
mind.
very absolutely unthankful.
Yeah.
But yeah, he goes and tells Senator Organa or Bail Organa. I remembered his name, Bail Organa. I remembered it in the last episode. Bail. He goes and talks to Bail and says, "No need to thank me. She did. Spending time with her was great."
Yeah, and he kind of said that she repaid already.
Yes, that's. I said it wrong, but that's what I meant.
Yeah, and he says, "Look, if you ever need me again, just call." And there was for a brief second, I went, "Oh no, this is like a season 2 fucking thing, isn't it?" And then I was just like, "No, wait, A New Hope exists."
Yeah. But yeah, so then he gets to say a final goodbye to Leia. And it's actually very sweet.
It's nice because he says that he does remember her parents, and he doesn't just connect her with her mother, but actually with her father.
And that's actually something we said in episode 2, was it? Episode 2 or 3?
Yeah. We're the best podcast, predict everything correctly. Yeah.
Everything correctly. Yeah. Jar Jar's there.
Yeah. Mace Windu. Oh, couldn't shut him up.
But yeah, so it's just really nice to have him, especially now that he's kind of not settled his feelings for Anakin, but he's like,
no, he's free as Anakin's dead. That's what
he no longer holds the guilt.
Yeah,
for what happened, because it's not really his fault.
No, it's not.
I mean, if you connect things sequentially, it's a little bit his fault, but not like that direct thing.
He was part of Anakin's life. But I wouldn't blame him for it. I think most blame is the Jedi Order, to be honest.
Personally, I blame Mace Windu for granting him a seat on the council, but not the rank of Master.
Yeah, because he didn't kill a village of mothers, fathers, and children before that.
I don't know that the council knew about that.
yeah, but I'm just saying, I think the badness was there.
I mean, here's the thing. That direct action was what caused him to be so frustrated that Palpatine could, lay the final hook for his plan.
Yeah. But I think it was going to come anyway. It probably would have, you know?
Maybe, but, that specifically was what enabled Palpatine's plan.
No, hold on. Not just that. It was also, Palpatine basically raising him in a lot of ways for a decent chunk of his life.
I
grooming him to fuck. Grooming.
Yeah. But yeah, that. So speaking of Palpatine grooming Anakin, we can move on to Darth Vader's epilogue.
Yes, we do.
We go back to the Mustafar Palace, where he is giving a report to a cameo I actually didn't expect.
Yeah.
Palpatine back, baby.
Yeah. A good Palpatine as well.
Good Palpatine.
Yeah.
And he's saying,
I will get Obi-Wan.
Yes, we're sending drones to every system, every quadrant in the system. Obi-Wan will not escape this time. And Palpatine's looking at him like, are you sure you're all right?
Are you over your ex?
Yeah. I feel like you have unfinished issues there.
Do you want to talk to the Empire psychiatrist?
You realize we have 24-hour staff to help you if you need it.
I think Vader suddenly realized, oh shit, yeah, no, good point. No, you're my only master. I think as quick as it happened, I think that's Vader beginning to say, yeah, no, I have to be a master now. I can't keep going after Obi-Wan.
Yeah, like, he's realized this is a dead end.
Yeah.
Like, he might end up eventually killing Obi-Wan. But
it made him weak. He almost died. Like, I think Darth Vader almost died doing this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, like, what is the point of this? It does nothing for him. And, like, in the end, Obi-Wan... Like, the Grand Inquisitor even said it's just one Jedi. And Darth Vader didn't let it go. But now, hearing it from his own master, Darth Vader's like, I have to let this go.
Yeah.
I have to end it here.
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll come to a space station eventually, and we can just kill each other then.
Yeah. But like, we'll be a bit older by then, so it'll be a bit more stiff. But we could like have a really weird old man walking stick fight.
Yeah, definitely not a fight that's plagued with technical issues of the time that the movie would come out in, and make it so that all other much faster lightsaber fights look weird in comparison, or make it look weird in comparison.
Vader, what are you talking about? You've zoned out there, Vader.
actually, I want to have a little mini rant here. I'm so tired of people saying that the Force powers make no sense. Do you not realize the technical issues of the time these movies come out in are things that exist? It's like, if Lucas had the ability to make Luke lift that many rocks, he would have. Believe me, he would have.
Yeah. Well, no, to be fair, Luke struggled to lift one rock, and it showed that he struggled to lift that one rock.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean in episode 6 more so.
Well, in episode 6, this is meant to be like Luke at like top end Jedi powers. Like, he is like, he's there.
Like this, like, if had Lucas had the ability to make the Star Wars trilogy as he eventually would have, he would have made it that way.
Yeah.
Although probably with more weird CGI music sequences.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder if Star Wars was made, the prequel series was made roughly around the time of the Avatar series, because Cameron hung around for Avatar, like the first Avatar movie, because he wanted. You mean it actually? Because he wanted for the computer graphics to be at a certain level where these movies are possible. I wonder if the same happened with the original trilogy, and they just waited till special effects were a bit more, good. Would they have gone like, this would have been a far better looking, a far more respected era?
It's hard to say. Yeah. It's hard to say. Because like when A New Hope came out, and we should always remember the humble beginnings of Star Wars. When A New Hope came out,
which is boring.
It was like Lucas sent it to multiple of his director friends.
Yeah. And
they all said, this is shit. It's not going to do well.
Yeah.
You should change most of it or never release it.
And they
he then sent it to Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
I think it was Spielberg.
Yeah.
And he showed it to Spielberg, and Spielberg said to him, this is going to make you like very successful.
Yeah.
This is going to do amazing.
The general vision was good. And that's the big thing as well. Like, obviously he had a lot of people at the time telling him no as well. And his wife at the time rewrote all of it, like, basically. Like, there was a lot of re-editing and rewriting, But, so we have Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's leaving his weird cave. He's wearing his old clothes again.
Yeah, his prequel Jedi garb. he's leaving the cave, which I personally think is symbolic of him no longer hiding in the same way he used to.
As he moves to a new cave.
It's not a cave; it's a house.
It is a house. It is a house. Yeah.
But he's not hiding like he used to. Like, he lived far away from any form of society before.
Yeah.
He now has his lightsaber, which like he didn't before. He has Anakin's old lightsaber as well.
Just saying. You know when like Organa said, "Can I do anything for you? I don't know how to repay." Maybe she said, "Hey, look, I'm not asking for much, but can you like send me enough money to like live on, so I don't have to have a stupid job cutting desert fish up?" Like, I'm just saying, like,
or maybe could you like give me a meal? I haven't eaten a proper dinner in a long time. Could I stay for dinner or something?
Yeah. Because he literally, it feels like he could basically have come from the other side of the galaxy, said, "Hey, it's Leia, here's your droid. Alright, better pop off again. Bye." It's just like, alright. But yeah,
so he
goes to Owen's farm. He goes on this weird space camel, and he goes over to Owen, and he's at this stage wearing a jacket as well, and goggles, which is taken right from the Kenobi comic series, that they've already lifted a few things from the show from, which is a pretty neat reference, and he makes a point to Owen, say, "Wow, shit, I heard you fought a Sith really well with, like, Beru, and you did a pretty good job. You don't need me protecting Luke. You can do that all by yourself." And he goes, "Yeah, duh." And Obi-Wan walks off, and then Beru goes, "Alright, do you want to meet him, the kid?" And he goes, "Yeah, that'd be cool." And he says it.
I think everyone in the audience at this point, we were all just like sitting like giddily, like, "Say the line, Obi-Wan."
Yeah. And he says, "Hello there."
Yeah! Everyone erupts in cheers and fanfare.
Yeah.
We don't get to see his talk with Luke, but we know he gives him the toy that he plays with in episode 4 that we saw in episode 1 in this show.
Yes, we do.
And it's, I don't know, it's just really nice. I mean, I think Luke got one line of dialogue in this whole show, and it was literally just him quoting himself from episode 5, or episode 6, where he goes, "I'm not afraid." That's the only line we get from Luke.
No, I think we have another line when he's out at the shop early on in the episode as well. Look, no offense to the kid, there was just not much to do, you know.
Yeah, maybe if more was written for him, I don't know how you would have fitted in.
Yeah. Also, we should make a point. Like he never really sees any of the lightsaber stuff. He never sees Raven. What's it? Is it Raven or Raven or what?
Reva.
Reva. I keep mixing up with Raven from like the games.
Teen Titans. Oh
no, which was the game? Who is the main character in one of the Star Wars games in the old Republic? Revan. Yeah, I keep mixing because they have kind of similar storylines, but you know, whatever. But yeah. So I'm going to be honest with you. At this stage,
there's a little bit more.
Yeah, well, we're at this stage. We're in the desert. There's like 5 minutes left, and I'm just like, "Don't not do it, please, for God's sakes."
Show him.
And out of the mist is Qui-Gon Jinn with some extra kind of beardy action going on the side. It's the only thing. No, I loved it. He makes a point that I thought you'd never arrive, or you'd never come, or whatever like that. I think at first I was a little bit like, why is Obi-Wan not more like, "Oh my God, Master, it's you"? Anyways, he has seen him in the Clone Wars. This isn't the first time that Obi-Wan has seen Qui-Gon return as a Force ghost. So, like, it's still been quite a few years, and he's clearly very happy to see his old master. And
definitely.
Oh, am I happy to see Qui-Gon as well?
So, I like if it's a CGI Liam Neeson, it's really good, but it seems like it's actually Liam Neeson right there in front of me, and I'm like, yes.
No, yeah. Like, it's genuine Liam Neeson. Though I think he actually came back for the Clone Wars to be the voice for Qui-Gon as well, which was cool.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get finished off with the show with Qui-Gon telling Obi-Wan that they've got a long path ahead of them, which implies the training that he's going to need to become a Force ghost in the original trilogy.
And Qui-Gon also made a big point that, I was always here. You just weren't ready to see me yet. So, like, again, it seems like, if your emotions are volatile, you can't see Force ghosts. They get in the way of it,
Yeah, so it's very, very much an emotional state of mind that allows you to see a Force ghost or not.
Yeah, which explains why Sith can't really come back as Force ghosts. Like, they have come back in some ways because their soul has been connected to an item or, like, some relic, but in general, they don't survive after the Force. They just kind of become part of just the living Force again, and that's it. They don't keep any of their identity, and they can't train to. So yeah, okay. So my kind of view on first of all, rhyming. What do we rhyme with?
Rhyming. Time for some rhyming, okay? So the episode 6 connection. It starts on Tatooine. Reva is wearing a dark cloak as she's introduced, similar to how Luke is introduced in episode 6.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan sending himself to fight Vader alone is like what Luke does in episode 6. Obi-Wan tries to speak to Qui-Gon before the fight, similar to how Luke did talk to Obi-Wan before he knew he had to fight Vader in episode 6.
Yeah.
The outfit that Leia wears is similar to the outfit she wears in episode 6, I believe. And I might be reaching on that one. I'm talking about the one she wears at the end of the episode. With her getting the blaster.
No, I think what she wears at the end of the episode is a lot closer to what she wore in A New Hope. Like, we do see her wearing the gun holster and all that, I suppose. But, like, when I think of episode 6, I think of the green sort of, like, tunic thing she has on and the helmet. And then at the end she has a bit of a dress situation going on, but I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I will retract that.
I could be wrong.
Okay. So, other rhymes. Vader's life support gets damaged, just as I said, returning the same rasping noise he made in episode 6 as he was dying. We see Hayden under the mask, just like how Vader's mask gets removed in episode 6.
Yeah.
Let's see. The ghost of Qui-Gon appears and actually talks to Obi-Wan, much like the ghost of Obi-Wan appears to actually talk to Luke in episode 6. Those are the only rhymes I could find.
Yeah. I think this is probably out of all the episodes, I think it's the weaker rhymes in this one.
Oh, the Emperor appears.
Oh, the Emperor appears. Yeah, I mean, he appears in, the first 3 prequels, original series anyway.
Yeah, but like episodes, well, I mean, he appeared in episode 5, but like it wasn't even the real Emperor. It was like weird lumpy Emperor that they put him, like they replaced with the actual Emperor in later things. One of the better like redos that George Lucas did to the original trilogy.
Yeah, it's the one I've been like, I'm okay with. Yeah. But yeah.
It's a weaker rhyme. I still think like the first and second episode have weaker rhymes than this, but yes, I would agree that it's not the strongest rhyme. I still stand by that there is a little bit of rhyming here.
Okay.
But I do think that overall the theory is not my best theory. But I got some good.
You've got some
like predictions,
some retrospect of it. Yeah. All right. What did you think about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the TV series?
Overall, I think the show has had its ups and its downs. But I enjoyed it from beginning to end.
Do you think it fulfilled that I want more Obi-Wan itch?
Personally, I don't think every episode did, but I think the episodes that did do it did fulfill the itch for me. Those episodes for me were episodes 2, 3, and 6.
Yeah. Okay. You weren't a big fan of 1, 4, and 5. Sorry.
It wasn't 2, 3, and 6. It was which was the one where he breaks in?
That's
four?
Was four. Yeah.
Okay, it was two. It was 2, 4, and 6.
Do the
I'm trying.
episodes have names actually?
They're just called episode 1, episode 2, and Roman numerals,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is part of the where my rhyming thing came from.
Okay, fair enough.
But the I'm trying to remember now. The first Vader fight was episode 2.
Yeah. Wait.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it
it
wasn't.
wasn't.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. Yeah.
3. So it was actually done 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and 6 for me were my big favorite episodes. Episode 1 was slow, but I liked it, and episode 5 was just not great in general.
Yeah.
It was very, very in between episode.
Yeah.
And it was very noticeable that way.
Yeah.
What about you? How did you feel?
I mean, I think what this show's done in general has continued the tradition of Disney being really fucking good at doing Darth Vader.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, everything Disney has done with Darth Vader has been fucking great, including the dad joke in Rogue One. I won't have anyone argue that.
That's in character.
Yeah,
he does that.
Mm.
Also, he's canonically a dad. He's allowed to make dad jokes.
Yeah.
This is the way.
Yeah, this is the way. No, there's that. But yeah, no. I enjoyed it. I think it scratched the giddiness with me a good few times. What I wanted from this. I'm glad it seems this is the end of the Kenobi series. We're not going to get a season 2. I know some people are talking about, but he's going there with Qui-Gon. Yeah, we're not going to have a weird buddy cop movie with a fucking Force ghost.
We're not getting the Karate Kid training arc of how to meditate until you become a ghost. There is nothing. I imagine there are people who are interested in the becoming a Force ghost, but there's no action in that. You can't sell that to a general audience.
No. Yeah. No, absolutely not.
At most, this is going to be like very similar to the Book of Boba Fett, where it's technically a continuation, where Reva's story is technically a continuation.
Yeah.
They're going to do stuff with Reva, and it's going to be a technical continuation of the Kenobi show, and that is going to be like how Book of Boba Fett continued The Mandalorian.
I wouldn't be shocked if we see Obi-Wan show up in another Disney show.
Neither would I, because Ewan seems to really love being back.
Yeah. And for people who might complain about this, like, Obi-Wan has shown up in, like, the Clone Rebels as well. Like, it's not completely beyond reproach to have him show up. I don't want him to go off on another mission. I'd be not massive for that, but for Ewan McGregor show up again, and he seems to love doing the role. Yeah, absolutely love that.
Yeah. I want to add though, I don't want to see season 2 of Obi-Wan. I don't. But I'm kind of a little bit tired of the time period between episodes 3 and 4.
Oh yeah,
because we have been living there for a while, and there's a lot. I mean, I realize it's about 20 years of content, but you've got other periods. Like, what happened between episode 4 and 5? What happened between 5 and 6?
Well, to be fair, we got a good bit now between 6 and 7 with the Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So we have that era. Honestly, if I was looking at eras, I know it's not really the best era to pick because we have plenty between 2 and 3. But I would like to see some stuff between 1 and 2. Yeah. Because that's where
Clone Wars.
Yeah, we're Obi-Wan teaching Anakin, him growing up, all this kind of stuff like this. There's a big leap there. Then again, I want to see stuff away from the Skywalker saga as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Let's see some new Jedi during that period of time. Let's go pre-episode 1.
Yeah, I love some Legends stuff right in the back arse of nowhere. Time-wise,
I thought, just give us something that's just not related. Give us another Mandalorian. Mandalorian, other than the Grogu stuff, doesn't really connect. much because it's about a fucking Mandalorian bounty hunter. You know,
Yeah.
it's not about the Skywalkers
Yeah,
until it's season 2.
And people loved us, you know?
Yeah. So give us more non-Skywalker stuff. Like, even if we get Reva, her story is also tied to Darth Vader, and I don't like that.
I mean, even give us some eras between the sequels saga. Like, give us, between 7 and 8, or 8 and 9, you know?
Good luck getting any of those actors to come back, though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's probably not going to happen. No. Maybe give it a few decades and they come back for voice acting.
They'll come back in a few decades when they're legacy characters in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. But yeah,
when we get like a mystical trailer, it's like, it's been so long.
See, I know I mentioned that thing between episode 1 and 2, but I am, at least for now, satisfied with Obi-Wan.
Yes.
The character. I am
Very
happy
satisfied.
what's happened there. He seems at peace. The character, there's not many places where I go like, what happened to Obi-Wan there that's left? I don't really care too much about, like, I was listening to a YouTuber going through what Obi-Wan went through as a teenager under Qui-Gon. And some of the stuff was interesting, but I wouldn't say profoundly important either.
No.
You know, everything we know about Obi-Wan, we know as developed on screen. We know why he's a good guy and why he chooses the things. Like, we understand all his choices now. All his feelings, why they're there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like a big point when they're making new stuff.
Yeah.
That they have to justify its reason for existence. Like, I think the Obi-Wan Kenobi show has justified itself.
Yeah.
It gave us a mission where it connected to the prequels, it connected to the sequels, and it has good imagery and stuff to draw on.
Also,
I'm going to compare it.
Just a quick thing. We've seen Obi-Wan now lift loads of stones and throw them at Darth Vader, right? And that battle showed that Obi-Wan had his powers again. I know there's going to be people out there saying, why didn't we see that throughout the show? And I want to ask you, did you watch the show? Did you understand why Obi-Wan was the way he was? He felt so downtrodden? How he didn't touch the Force for years and years? How the Force is like turning on a light, not being scared anymore? So Obi-Wan was keep himself afraid to stay more alert. Like, it was explained. Like, he was fucked, you know?
Yeah, he has 10 years without using the Force is going to mess up your muscle memory.
Also thinking that he basically killed his own son/brother.
Yeah, and as we went into a long rant about why the Force is emotion-based, imagine how your emotions are going to feel after you do that.
Yeah. And thinking he's part of why the Jedi have fallen apart. He never stopped saying the Jedi were good. He always believed the Jedi were right and they were the Order and it was a civilized era during Jedi. Obi-Wan is the purest Jedi in that.
Yeah.
In every way. He is not a grey Jedi. He is a pure Paladin Jedi. Yeah. You know?
He is as Jedi as they come.
Yeah. So, like, he felt he probably took that part as well. And everything he cared and believed in was robbed from him. So, he was a bit fucking depressy poos in the fucking desert. You know?
I mean, if anything, I'd argue that he should have been more depressed and they should have gone into him feeling the guilt over...
Yeah.
Like, if he feels guilt for what Anakin became, then he feels guilt for everything Anakin did when he became it.
Like I sometimes wonder, would they just been happy if we just saw him like jumping up a mountain, front flipping a few times, and they say, okay, he is still powerful, that's fine. Like,
we have Obi-Wan back.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying before, like the Obi-Wan Kenobi show fully justifies its own existence, and I want further things to do that. Like, we got a few years back a movie about Han Solo's origin.
Yeah.
And dear God, did that movie not justify its existence? What did that justify? The fucking Kessel Run?
So I say this: the few things I got from people who enjoyed the movie, and I'll respect their opinions. But like, the main thing is that, look, it was just a fun summer movie, and sure, it was that, but it's still like maybe it's just me, but if someone asked me before Solo came out, saying, "Hey, do you want like a movie based on Han Solo's origins or what Obi-Wan was up to?" I'd say Obi-Wan every time. And that's not because I don't like Han Solo. Some of the best moments in the Star Wars original series are from Han Solo. Especially like when Luke is on the Death Star, he's about to be shot down, and Han comes in. Like, my brother and me used to jump up on the chair screaming that. Like, we loved that moment. Like, Han, and like the I know moments. Like, they're all great Han Solo moments. But I never cared about, what made Han Solo the way he is? He lives in a shitty galaxy. That's what happened to him.
Like, oh, gee, I sure wonder why his name is Solo.
Yeah.
It's like, no one's ever asked that question.
Hey, remember those dice? No. I never became aware of those dice until like, they were mentioned in these movies.
Do you remember those dice? I mean, the only movie I have ever seen that has made those dice in any way important was Episode 8.
Yeah, which had to, because the Solo movie's coming. Better make a reference.
We better reference the fucking Solo movie.
Yeah.
God, that worked out, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing: justify your existence. Rogue One justified itself by being about the rebels who got the Death Star plans.
Yeah,
that's a justifiable thing.
Also, we got Darth Vader in that hallway. Whew.
Yes, here's the thing: we know they get the Death Star plans, but it'd be fun to see a movie about how. It'd be fun to see the characters that do that.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need a movie about how Han got the Millennium Falcon.
No.
Because here's the thing, the movie isn't even about that. That's like an end of the movie scene.
It also has a movie about like a free living robot that has her own personality being shoved inside a vehicle and staying there for eternity.
God, it's so weird. The movie is really weird.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into that whole thing. Because this isn't the movie.
Yeah.
We don't do movies, we do shows.
Yeah, we do shows. Talking about what we do, Kevin.
Yes.
Now, we have talked... So, Kevin's sticking around. We are going to review more TV shows in the future. We have some planned. So it's probably going to be a lot of Marvel stuff and a lot of like Star Wars stuff when we have it. But other things as well, if they catch our fancy. We've been talking about maybe watching Stranger Things in between shows as they come. But folks, if there's any TV shows that you'd like us to review or keep an eye out, we'd love to do it. And yeah, I think that's it from us today.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing, yeah.
Thanks, folks, for sticking with us for the series. We'll be back with Kevin in a couple of weeks.
We sure will.
And yeah, look after yourselves. Look after all those around you. Love each other well, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I sure love